I have a huge amount of costumes, but what I'm most proud of is, well, my wife calls this the no sex chair. I call this the neural interface chair. Hey, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everybody. This is a little bit different video. Normally, we're working our cars, but I've gotten a lot of questions about all your artwork behind me. And art is a huge part of my art, mostly automotive art, movie prop. I have a ton of movie props as well. So in my office here, when I did a remodel a couple years ago, I decided to fill it full of authentic autographs. Everything that I have is 100% authenticated. Don't ask me how I get it all. Don't ask me how much money I've spent, but it's all real. So over here we got Speed Racer animation cells. These are original animation cells that were bought at the Park Place Gallery on a cruise ship. This is original Disney artwork. Now, when you go to Disneyland, like Cars Land, and you see artwork like this, it is limited edition art. These are prints, they're copies, but they're limited edition. Once they're gone, they're gone. Go back to Disney the next time and expect for there to be a Chip Foose official print there. This poster right here, this is one of my autograph collection. This is from Cars 2. This is from Owen Wilson, Larry the Cable Guy, and a couple other people. I'd have to look on the back to see who autographed it. I don't recall exactly. This is a little bit more of the Disney sketch art. As you can see, like all the Disney artwork, they do have the stamp or seal in the artwork, so it can't be copied. Back here in my office, this is limited print to 1,000 posters. This was from Dennis Collins, his black F40 that they built. Richard Rawlings also. I had the pleasure to meet Richard and Dennis in Connaught Beach Casino when Richard was just getting started out. They gave a car away. We ended up getting a shit face with them, having a great time. Here I've got autographed by Dave Kindig and Kev Dog. And I'll tell you what, they're both really, really nice guys. Kevin is just like you see him on the TV show. I'm sure Dave is too, but I rubbed him the wrong way by cracking a joke about Kevin being the real brains behind the design team. And Dave did not appreciate that. Don't joke around with Dave. He's got a little bit of a fragile ego. But here's the man, King Richard Petty. This is an old picture of him, autographed. I don't think he's doing autographs anymore, if he's even still alive. Over here on this wall, this is something I'm very proud of, and I don't think anybody else has this in the world. This is an autograph poster, Decisions from the early 90s, autographed by Ferruccio Lamborghini, Enzo Ferrari, and Ferry Porsche. These are not replicas. These are the real signatures from the real people. Over here, we've got the Gone in 60 Seconds. This one is signed by, well, pretty much everybody in the movie. Robert Duvall, Giovanni Ribisi, and I believe Jerry Bruckheimer has even signed this too. Now, this is one thing that with autograph collection, you have to be very careful of, is that they only use a Sharpie to sign. Because as you can see, these autographs are still great shape. And these are, everything I have is behind UV protected glass, but you see these autographs are starting to fade. There's nothing you can do to stop that. And an unfortunate side effect of that is my autograph Ford versus Ferrari poster, which is one of my favorites. Christian Bale, Matt Damon, even Carroll Shelby signed this right here. But unfortunately, they didn't use a Sharpie. And so over time, you see the poster, the colors are still vibrant and in great shape, but the autographs are just fading away. That's because they didn't use a Sharpie, they used a generic pen, and that sucks because this poster was a lot of money. Let me take you back to my office. All right, so this is not my first dollar. This is my millionth dollar. I told my friend OC, my first mechanic, that when he asked me if I was going to frame my first dollar, I said, no, I'm going to frame her millionth. And sure as shit, I did. I've got a lot more of those since. That was 15 years ago. I've probably got another dozen or so of those. This is where we met Kobe. Kobe was a host of Top Shot on History Channel, and he was also on The Bachelor. I think he was one of the first Bachelors. This guy had a harem of women around him. I couldn't believe it. It was at a Comcast event, and the women were just surrounding him. I mean, swooning. And I asked him, I said, is it always like this? And he said, yes, it's always like this. So very lucky man there. LaToya Jackson. Believe it or not, she didn't do autographs, but she was one of the friendliest celebrities I've ever met. Her and my wife still email to this day. Picture of me and the Stinger here. The line was too long to get his autograph, but I was fortunate enough to get a picture of a lifelong idol there. Up here, we've got a couple of housewives and Kat Cora and my wife and me. We've got Niecy Nash and Malik, Wendy Malik, that's her name. Niecy Nash didn't like me. I don't know, maybe because I was drunk and obnoxious. Over here, we're with Playboy model Kendra Wilson and her Elizabeth Hank. That was before Hank liked men, or at least chicks with dicks, because that's what we found out he was into a little later on. That's a fact. I'm not making that up. A couple of hillbillies there from the History Channel. I believe those are gator shooting guys. I don't quite remember. Niecy Nash, Wendy Malik, another Richard Rawlings. And over here, Jay Buhner got his autograph. The glove was autographed, but like I was talking about earlier, it's unfortunate. Sometimes certain materials soak up the ink, and this is his autograph glove that he gave me for donating to his charity. Katie Sackhoff, one of my favorite celebrities. I didn't meet her. She does interact with her fans on Facebook. She had mentioned that she was going to be at not Emerald City Comic Con, but Washington State Summer Con. We're not far from where they host that. And I came in my office, and this woman walked in, and she had sunglasses on and a hooded sweatshirt and smiled at me and handed me an envelope. She walked out, and in that was the autograph picture of Katie Sackhoff. She was so sweet that she brought the picture and delivered it to me in person. I've never met her. I didn't even stop to think that that was her, but that's awesome. Bo-Katan and Starbuck, actually, from Battlestar Galactica. Kat Cora, the night we met her at a Comcast event, my wife and I met her. We talked to her for about 45 minutes. I was really feeling it because I thought she was into me. Nah, I did not know Kat Cora was into women. She was into my wife. Matador and As War from Brent Spiner. Got both of their autographs this past summer. Two really, really nice guys. Brent Spiner, who played Data on Star Trek The Next Generation, is probably the most interactive with his fans of anyone that I've met to get autographs from. Really genuine, nice guy. Really enjoyed meeting people. Over here, we've got the big gold belt signed by Booker T, five-time Hall of Fame champion from WCW and WWF. Also the first African-American heavyweight champion in professional wrestling. This is a real WWE licensed belt. And behind that, yes, I'm a nerd. I have Cylon helmets. I actually have 3 of these helmets. Don't ask me how much they cost. And I have one full costume. The one full costume is actually on a mannequin in my house. I've worn it for Halloween a couple of years ago. This belt is autographed by Hulk Hogan. This came from his beach shop in Miami several years ago. My wife got it for me for my birthday. It says he beat the honky tonk, but they wouldn't give him the belt. Hulk signs brother a lot. I guess everybody's his brother. But this is a cool piece that I really enjoy. And I think this is the first time I've ever, maybe second time I've taken it out of this case. My robot over here, this is from the reboot of the movie RoboCop with Joel Kinnaman. This is an actual screen use prop from where he woke up in the lab where they were putting him together, and he took off running down the hallway, and there were all sorts of robotic body parts hanging on racks. These are some of those body parts that are able to buy at auction and assemble a partial robot. They never sold the arms or the body armor, so I was just stuck with the torso, the head, and the legs, but it's cool. I like it. Over here, we got some less famous people, but a few of my favorite YouTubers. On the right from Car Trek, we've got Tyler Hoovy, who was gracious enough to do an intro for us on our YouTube channel a couple of years back. Tavarish and Ed Bullion, and of course, the late, great Rob Pitts, one of the best storytellers there's ever been. You can look him up on VinWiki if you don't know who he is. He passed away of stomach cancer recently. But I was able to purchase that from the VinWiki website. They did limited edition, and that all went to Rob Pitt's funeral expenses. That's everything that I have here at the shop, except for Mike Brewer, nicest guy in car business. I got his autograph inside his magazine here. Now, if you want to see some really neat stuff, let's go to my house and I'll show you the best stuff. Well, this is different for me because I've never shown my private collection. No one's ever been in our house except for immediate family and friends. So I'm going to start showing you our autograph collection. Everything in this house is 100% authenticated and legit. I'm not going to tell you how I got it. I'm not going to tell you how much money we spent on this collection, but if you know anything about autographs, you'll get the hint. So first off, we got Marvel over here. We got Loki, signed by Tom Hiddleston, Sophia DiMattaro, Owen Wilson, and a couple other people that were in the show. Not my favorite poster, but Loki stuff's kind of hard to get. Anything on Disney Plus is hard to get autographed. That's authenticated and legit. So I'm happy to have that one. Over here, we got WandaVision, signed by Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany. That's a fun show if you haven't watched it. This is a cool piece, I think. In my opinion, I really like how they blurred the photo like that. Back to my childhood. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Iconic movie. Got the car, got all the right autographs. Matthew Broderick, Alan Ruck, Mia Sara, Jennifer Grey, Jeffrey Jones, Cindy Pickett, Edie McClure, Charlie Sheen, Louis Anderson, Christy Swanson, and John Hughes himself autographed that license plate. So one of my favorite pieces in our house. Clearly, that's not the license plate that was on the Ferrari. It's just a replica, but the autographs are real. This next piece was extremely hard to get for the person who got it for us. It is the Game of Thrones. The autographs are a little hard to see just because of where it sits and it's dark. Now, with Game of Thrones, the cast was rarely together, so it took actual 3 seasons of filming to get all the autographs that are on there, if we can get a close-up of who signed it. Now, the sword, for people who are paying attention, that is obviously not the Wolfhead sword. That is actually Excalibur, but I had a hard time finding a sword with the dimensions to fit into that case, so that was the best replica sword that I could find. Next piece, this is a stunt hat that was worn during Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, I believe. It is signed by Keira Knightley, Orlando Bloom, Keith Richards, and Johnny Depp himself. This is not a hero hat like you see him wearing in the picture. This is a stunt hat, which would mean faraway scenes that a stuntman would have been wearing. This is probably one of my favorite pieces and our absolute most valuable in the collection. This is one of the rings that Johnny Depp wore through all of the movies. You can see it on his right hand in this picture here, his right index finger. This was given to his personal production assistant, Kurt Voorhees, at the end of production of the Pirates of the Caribbean series as a gift from Johnny Depp himself. I'm not sure why Kurt decided to sell it, but we are very fortunate to have it. My art dealer in Las Vegas called me as soon as she had this in her hands. She knew I would want it. So this never actually hit the market. This went from Kurt Voorhees directly to our art dealer, directly to us. It was never advertised. It has never been owned by anyone other than us, Johnny Depp, and his personal production assistant. So not everything has to be big production. I like all things sci-fi. There was a TV show called Defiance that ran for a few seasons on Fox. Julie Benz, Grant Bowler, and Stephanie Leonidas were on this show. The pistol that you see here, I bought at auction, was the hero pistol used by Linda Hamilton, as you can see in the picture there. My wife put this frame together for me for my birthday a couple of years ago, and very nice of her to do. She's very talented with all of her stuff she does. Now, this is just a cool piece. These are not original claws used in the movie, of course, but these are replica claws signed by Hugh Jackman himself, the Wolverine. And this was done for the Wolverine movie, the one when he was in Japan when they took his powers away. Whichever one of the many Wolverine movies that was. All right, my man Russell Wilson here. In my mind, he should still be a Seahawk. This is from a game when he just absolutely destroyed the Carolina Panthers. Great picture when the Seahawks were at their peak. Now going upstairs here to the Hall of posters. I actually have more to hang up that I have to redo. I need to redo the way these are all hanging, but of course it's a lot of work and I don't like standing on ladders. Right here we've got Zombieland Double Tap, Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Abigail, what's her name, and oh God, how can I not remember her name? Scarlet Letter, the beautiful redhead. Oh, what's her name? I can't remember. Yes, we'll just continue with these. I've got, this was actually the second piece in our collection, signed by, this is from Planet of the Apes with Tim Burton, signed by Michael Clark Duncan, Mark Wahlberg, Tim Burton, and Helen Bonham Carter. And over here, we've got the Harry Potter Goblet of Fire. This is one of my favorite pieces. My wife never cared for this one, but I loved it the minute I saw it. Everybody's favorite new show, Wednesday on Netflix. We do have a couple of Netflix pieces. These are not easy to get, but they are out there. And over here in the corner, we've got Fantastic Four. I know that movie was panned as a horrible movie, but I loved it. Chris Evans as the Flame. It is one of my favorite pieces. I'm kind of embarrassed to say that because nobody likes the movie but me, but I do. And then down there, we've got Star Wars, Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher. That, I think, one day will be one of our most valuable pieces when we decide to sell our collection eventually. Over here, we've got the Mike Tyson autograph glove. We got this glove in Las Vegas at Caesar's Palace. We got to meet Mike. Very nice guy, hands of steel. Just a genuinely nice person and was genuinely happy to be signing autographs, which shocked me because I was terrified after my experience with Quentin Rampage Jackson meeting fighters. I was a little nervous because when we met Rampage here, he is a very aggressive human being and scared the shit out of me, honestly. His girlfriend actually made him calm down. He autographed the A-team copy for me here. We weren't supposed to bring anything into that event for them to autograph, but I snuck in the DVD for him to sign because, well, I wanted it signed. Eventually, hopefully I can get Liam Neeson and Bradley Cooper. This one is a new piece I have not got up on the wall yet. These are going to be very hard to find because Michael J. Fox currently is no longer signing autographs. This is signed by Michael J. Fox, Leah Thompson, Christopher Lloyd, and Tom Wilson, who played Biff. This is also a new piece, Stranger Things Season 4, signed by the entire main cast. All the autographs are down on the bottom there. It's a little harder to see. On the darker posters, it's nice to have them sign with the paint pens or the silver pens because the autographs stand out a little bit better. Now, more Seahawks. The sad thing about this, Wilson, Metcalf, Lockett, the best trio of quarterback and receivers out there. The day I finally got these back from being framed, the day I hung them up, the following day they announced Russell's trade. That sucked. So, but these are good, really good examples. We'll go to the office over here. So we've got American Horror Story, the Hotel with Kathy Bates, Lady Gaga, Sarah Paulson, Evan Peters, Wes Bentley, Angela Bassett. This was one of the best seasons of American Horror Story, if you ask me. This is our True Blood. We started collecting, and True Blood had already gone off the air, so True Blood pieces were hard to get. This is a later picture, so I had that damn fairy guy instead of Bill the Vampire. Not my favorite piece, but I am happy just to have a True Blood piece in our collection. This is Toy Story, signed by, well, pretty much everybody. John Morris, Andy Potts, Tim Allen, Don Rickles, John Ratzenberger, Eric Von Deeten, Tom Hanks, Jim Varney. This is a piece which is nearly going to be impossible to get, and this is actually our very first piece we ever collected. Indiana Jones, signed by Harrison Ford, George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, and Sean Connery. Now, it's not hard to get Lucas and Ford and Spielberg's pictures and autographs together, but to be Indiana Jones instead of Star Wars is a big feat. And then to add Sean Connery on that is just icing on the cake. This is the only time I have ever been scammed and bought a fake piece. And the seller for that, it's the one time I bought on eBay, the one time. And the seller had like 10,000 reviews and all positive. And then one day I got an email from eBay after I'd had this 2 or 3 years saying that everything that person ever sold was fake. So got scammed on that one. But that's the only fake piece we have. So out here, one of my favorite shows was sci-fi shows, the Stargate Universe. When I first opened Seattle and I had no business, I opened at 7 a.m. Every Thursday I'd sit down on my computer and I would watch a new episode of Stargate Universe on my computer because the phones didn't ring and nobody were coming in. So for the first year the shop was open, that was the first year Stargate Universe was on air. So I kind of bonded with the show, so to speak. And the show lasted 2 seasons. When the show ended, the shop was doing really well. We were making a lot of money. And I came across the auction, VIP auctions, where they were selling all of the props. I have a huge amount of costumes, but what I'm most proud of is, well, my wife calls this the no-sex chair. I call this the neural interface chair. This chair weighs 380 pounds. This is the actual screen-used chair that they sat in multiple episodes. People would sit down, clamps will come up and lock in your arms and your legs, as well as this headpiece will come down. And these drill bits that you see in the frame over there will spin out and drill into your head and basically suck you into the computer or the ship. I bought this online. I didn't tell my wife. We had it delivered to the shop. I brought it home. My wife wasn't home from work yet. I got my 3 neighbors to help me get this upstairs. I wanted it upstairs before she saw it, otherwise it would be in the garage. So we had to take the front door off the hinges, the railing off the stairs, and everything. So this is probably my favorite piece. This is a door locking mechanism. As they were seen throughout the ship, Starship Destiny, this is an actual working door lock. It spins multiple different directions, and that is the control button there. These are pieces of the chair with a picture of Dr. Nicholas Rush sitting in it as seen on the screen. Autograph picture from the cast there. Autograph script from Air, which was the pilot episode of Stargate Universe. And I got everyone on this one. All right, so this is part of the gate room. This was actually just set dressing. As you can see behind him here on the wall is this vent. This vent on the wall is actually the vent that is in this case here. This is part of the gate room from the Starship Destiny Stargate Universe. framing is very important for displaying any of these items. If you look at all my Stargate stuff, it all matches. We have this actual kind of machine or tooling inlay here to kind of go with the theme of the ship and the show. If you notice, it matches the Stargate there. And also in this one here, kind of matches the screws there from the chair. Even in this one, it matches the air vent there. So it's really important to properly display your pieces. And on my Seahawks here too, if you notice, these are all custom framed. We had the neon green inlay here done over the black to kind of accent the safety green that we use there on the Seahawks. So that's my collection. I've got a lot of other stuff, but I'm not going to bore everybody. I feel it's probably gone on long enough. I've got my Cylon. I've got Gladiator gear from Hercules with the Rock. All sorts of stuff. So, but this is what I've shown you for now. I hope you like it. A little bit different for us. So this is my collection. This is a little bit behind the scenes.